ولا تعجل بالقرآن من قبل أن يقضى إليك وحيه وقل رب زدني علما.
The first question that we have here, it says, is a person allowed to perform umrah or hajj with his family when he still has housing debt to clear? When he still has housing debt to clear? And the answer to that is, barakallahu fikum, if you are talking about permissibility, if you are talking about whether is it permissible or not, then yes, a person is allowed to perform umrah or to perform hajj even if he is in debt. Then this is in terms of permissibility. His umrah or his hajj is still valid and correct if he does either of them while he is still being in debt. Again, this is in terms of permissibility. As for what is better, then what is better is another thing. What is better is another thing. As for what is better for a person is that he finishes off his debt before performing the hajj or the umrah. And why do I say this? Because if a person is in debt, it means that he is obligated. It is obligated upon him to pay off his debt. It is obligated upon him to pay off his debt. Which means that if he has extra money, then that money should be directed to clearing off his obligations. It should be directed to clearing off his obligations. As for umrah or hajj here, then he is not from those who has the full capability to perform either the hajj or the umrah, which means that the hajj or the umrah is not an obligation for him to be done, to be performed from him. And so hajj and umrah, since hajj and umrah is not an obligation for him and he has an obligation of paying off the debt, what is better here is to pay off the debt. And if he were to die not performing hajj and umrah, then there is nothing upon his neck. There is nothing upon his neck because hajj or umrah is not wajib upon him when he died. So there is nothing upon him. لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not burden a person above his capabilities, and therefore hajj and umrah is not wajib upon him when he died. So hajj and umrah is not upon his neck. But if he were to die and upon him are debts, then his debt is still upon his neck. And it appeared in some of the hadith and some of the ulama made it hasan that his soul will be mu'allaq. His soul will be delayed. Until his debt is what? What is the word? Is being paid off for him. Until his debt is being paid off for him. And delaying of his soul for punishments or for rewards is punishment itself, because he will be waiting and waiting and waiting, and as how we know, waiting is a form of punishment by itself. So if he were to die and he has debt, then the debt is still upon his neck, and it is an obligation for his offsprings or his relations to settle off his debt. If not, then his soul will be delayed and will be hanged until it is being settled. So here again, in terms of permissibility, yes, it is permissible for a person to do hajj or umrah even if he has debt, but in terms of what is better than to pay off and to finish off and to settle off his debt, whether that debt has riba or not. Whether that debt has riba or not, then it is a must for a person to settle it off. Barakallahu fikum first. This is what is better.